Last NBA season, we got to see something truly historic. For the first time since the 1961-62 season, when Oscar Robertson did it, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double over the course of an entire season. Just think about that. At least 10 points per game, at least 10 rebounds per game, at least 10 assists per game, on average throughout the course of an 82-game season. Russell Westbrook did this. It had not been done in over 5 decades. And Westbrook did it. The amount of consistent effort and energy that takes to do something like that is tremendous. And then when you look at Oscar Robertson having to play, I think it was back then like 44 minutes per game, and Westbrook's playing like 34, 35 minutes a game to achieve that same feat, truly remarkable. Something the vast majority of us have never seen. Didn't know if we would ever see. It was one of those mythical numbers. One of those mythical statistics. One of those unbreakable of things. Somebody averaging a triple-double over the course of an entire season would be just so incredibly difficult to do. And Russell Westbrook did it. And you're like, okay, that was truly something that was remarkable. He's the MVP, blah, blah, blah. But there's no way he can maintain that energy level and that consistency to be able to do it again. And then comes the 2017-2018 season, and of course, Russell Westbrook ultimately ends up averaging a triple-double over the course of an entire season again. We hadn't seen it in over 50 damn years, over 5 damn decades, and now Russell Westbrook has done it back-to-back seasons. He now has 104 career triple-doubles. Think about that. Guys would probably be ecstatic and doing backflips if they got 1 or 2 triple-doubles over the course of the season. Those are good, great Hall of Fame type of players. Russell Westbrook has 104 of them sons of bitches. He's now 4th on the all-time triple-double list, behind Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, and Jason Kidd. He's 4th all-time. It's only a matter of time before he becomes the NBA's all-time leader in triple-doubles. We all know this is going to happen. It will just only be a couple of years, and it is going to be reality. So, of course, this is historic. Not only one time, but 2 times back-to-back. Russell Westbrook has averaged a triple-double over the course of an entire NBA season. And Christ almighty, wouldn't you know, here come the Westbrook defenders and the Russ heads talking about how great this is, how magnificent this is, how magical this is, how truly historic this is, how this speaks to his true greatness, and it is historic from a statistical standpoint. It is technically a great achievement. But I hate to be everybody's rain cloud on this. No, I really don't. Because people are getting carried away with their defense of Russell Westbrook on this crap. And ignoring some obvious, basic, fundamental realities here. Now, mind you, I'm a bit cynical. But you're going to tell me that this thing that had stood for over 5 decades with what Oscar Robertson did in that 61-62 season, averaging a triple-double over the course of an entire year, in over 50 years, not one other person did it, including the likes of guys like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, Jason Kidd, Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, you name it, none of them have done it. Kevin Garnett, all these different guys, none of them did it. But now Russell Westbrook is so great and so spectacular that he's done it not once, but twice over the course of 2 seasons back to back. Doesn't that strike anybody as a little bit odd here? Doesn't that strike anybody else as being kind of flukish? Or doesn't that strike anybody else as how using statistics sometimes as a measurement is very flawed because it doesn't tell the whole reality of the player and the whole reality of the situation? Now look, I can't go back and watch Oscar Robertson's 61-62 season. And I know he played a lot more minutes per game than Russell Westbrook did. I can't see how many assists were very easy or came from him truly dominating the ball, how easy it was for him to score in that time. I can't speak to how many uncontested rebounds he got. But what I can speak to is Russell Westbrook and what we see and what the current reality is. And to me, it's kind of frustrating to see a guy that is so massively celebrated for this selfishness. The Oklahoma City Thunder, the team, the organization, the coaching staff have all bought into this because they don't want to piss off Russell Westbrook because they know how kind of bitchy he can be, that they've got to sit there and capitulate to him on something like this. You're talking about a guy that leads the league in field goal attempts, so he takes more shots than anybody else in the damn league, who led the league in turnovers, is probably butt naked last in terms of players that can be measured with the number of three-pointers he takes. He's butt naked last in three-point percentage, shooting under 30%. He's a mediocre free throw shooter for a point guard shooting less than 75%. That is bad. And everybody knows, if you choose to believe it, hey, he's a bad defensive player. Like really, really bad. Like bottom of the league at his position. Like bottom fifth of the league in terms of whether you want to talk about defensive efficiency or just what the hell your eyeballs tell you. So we sit there and celebrate and cherry pick these things and use them to assert his dominance and his true greatness. And to me, it's just a bunch of crap. Don't you find it awful fishy that all of a sudden after over 5 decades of nobody doing it, stars, superstars, legends, Hall of Famers, icons, some of the truly greatest to ever play the game, up to and including, I'm not just going to throw out Michael Jordan or Magic or Bird, I'm going to throw out there LeBron James. Does anybody else think this is odd? That LeBron James didn't average a triple-double over the course of an entire season? But Russell Westbrook's done it 2 consecutive years in a row? Well, very simply. Yes, LeBron James dominates the ball a lot, but he does other things, and he's more worried about winning, where Russell Westbrook is about ego and trying to sit there and win in the box score, and not with the wins and the losses. And I know what I'm going to hear now is look at the record when he has those triple-doubles. How many of those triple-doubles came against garbage-ass teams? How many of those triple-doubles came in games and situations where the team was already winning, they were blowouts or non-competitive games, and he's still staying out there trying to pad the damn stat sheet to get his triple-double? Again, even if you want to throw out that bullshit about 82 and whatever the frick, or 80 whatever and whatever. What does that say about the games where he doesn't get a triple-double? What's the Thunder's record then? And what does that indicate about him and his ability to elevate other people? If he's not padding his numbers, apparently he doesn't really give a crap. And you look at it too when you talk about things like assists. If these assists really meant what they were supposed to mean and he truly made other people better, how come Victor Oladipo goes from Orlando, comes to Oklahoma City, it felt like actually regressed a little bit, never got into rhythm, and then he goes to Indiana the next damn year and he's an all-star? Look at how much easier it is for Kevin Durant in Golden State to still put up big numbers playing with guys like Stephen Clay and Draymond Green. Part of the reason is he can actually play within a flow of an offense and more easily and efficiently get his instead of trying to play captain cockblock to selfish-ass Russ. Because Durant knew that if he got the ball, by God, he better do something with it because if it went to Russ, it wasn't coming back to him. Like, I can't believe people are denying that this dude is a stat patter. He is. It's not entirely on him. Some of it is a result of what the team chooses to do. Some of it is a result of the NBA of today. But it is stat padding. And it is unfair to measure Russell Westbrook's triple-doubles against other people's triple-doubles because the reality is entirely different. When you look at the rebounds, for example, a lot of his rebounds are uncontested. A very high percentage of them are uncontested. And I'm sure if you looked at the numbers, he's at the very, very top of the list in the entire league in terms of uncontested rebounds. And that's by design. That's not just solely by him being selfish. No. His teammates defer to him on, let's say, missed free throws. They want him to get the ball. So they're sitting there boxing out, and guys like Steven Adams, instead of going for the rebound, are letting Russ get it because they figure the quicker he gets the ball in his hands, the better off it is for their team. Not necessarily true, but that's what they believe. So that is part of the design. He gets those rebounds in part because you could say, well, he's taking it from them. Clearly the other night when he got 20 of them, he's trying to take some of them away because he is trying to pad the stat sheet at that point in time. And whatever, you're that close. At that point, you might as freaking well. But some of this is clearly by design. It is based off of the design of Billy Donovan and the Thunder and what they want to do. They want to get the ball in Russ's hands as quickly as possible. So it makes sense to sit there and box out and let him get the rebounds. Or when you're close, just let him go ahead and get it. Get the ball in his hands as quickly as possible. Start the break the other way. It also doesn't speak to all the other rebounds he gets by not defending, by being out of position as a defensive player, by being terrible at contesting enough shots, or when he does contest them, he doesn't have a very good success rate either, and he ultimately sags into the lane because ultimately he's cherry-picking to try and get more rebounds and again increase his rebound totals, pad his stat sheet. Russell Westbrook has always been a good rebounding guard. That is absolutely true. But we must tell the entirety of the story when talking about him averaging over 10 rebounds over the course of an entire season. A lot of that is by design, and also a lot of it comes from him not playing any damn defense. They're trying to get the ball in his hands as quickly as possible. And as far as the assists go, this is always one of those bullshit things that people bring up to point to say somebody's not selfish. How could somebody average 10 assists a game if they're selfish? Very easily. If they demand and dominate the ball on, let's say, 70 possessions, he could literally shoot 50 times. He doesn't, but he could. And the other 20 times pass it off in a bailout type of situation, and his teammates hit 10 shots. That's not within the flow of any offense, because can you tell me what the hell type of offense the Thunder freaking run? Exactly. When you always have the ball in your hands, at some point in time, you will stumble into assists. And if you have it in your hands enough, you will be able to stumble into a lot of assists because it is in part by design. A team wants their best player to have the ball in their hand as much as possible, and I do not begrudge them for that. But in today's ISO-dominated NBA, where there's not as much movement of the ball, not as much movement of players, a lot of these assists come off of Russell Westbrook sitting there holding the ball the entire damn time and then bailing it out to a teammate who's either massively wide open that he just happened to find, or bailing it out to somebody else because he gets in a horrible place and he, for some reason, decides he's not going to throw up some bullshit, and hopefully they'll knock down a few shots. Bailout assist don't absolve you of being a ball hog or being selfish, or from the current style of the NBA, creating a situation where guys dominate the ball so much, they have no choice but to stumble into 10 assists in a game. It is not as important of a stat as it once was. It is not as much of a measurement of getting others involved and helping your teammates and making your teammates better as it once was. That is not solely Russell Westbrook's fault. That is the design of things in today's NBA, and that's the way it is. But again, when we talk to the spectacularness of this, and this points to his true greatness, no, it really doesn't. This recent surge in triple-doubles reflects the reality that I'm talking about. More teams are starting to de-emphasize their big stars playing man-on-man defense and sagging the lane, getting the ball in their hands quicker in terms of rebounding, giving them the ball more and more in terms of isolation stuff as a facilitator, meaning they're going to naturally get more assists because they have the ball, they have more opportunities to pass. Even if they don't pass a ton, they will still be able to find guys a couple of times that will manage to put the ball in the damn basket. And when you think about this, in all the entire history of the NBA, 2015, 2016, that's one season. 2016, 2017, that's another season. 2017, 2018. Those 3 seasons are 3 of the 4 highest seasons in NBA history for total triple-doubles throughout the league. And it is becoming such an increasing thing that if you took out Russell Westbrook's 20-some-odd damn triple-doubles this season, this still would be a season that has the most triple-doubles in history. So you could look at it naively and say that Russell Westbrook's triple-double over the course of an entire season is impressive, and the number of triple-doubles that he has. But we have to be honest here. It is a product of the current environment. He is a selfish player. He does worry about padding the stats. Some of the things that his team does and the things that the league do now in general are designed to pad the stats of superstars like Russell Westbrook. This does not prove his greatness. It just proves his opportunity and his ability to take advantage of said opportunity and how much the league, and specifically in Westbrook's case, the Oklahoma City Thunder, are capitulating to their fragile, sensitive superstar. So you can talk all this greatness and celebrate all this crap. To me, they're just numbers, and worthless numbers at that.